to Yankee Chronicle. This is our second week being presented by the 91st Annual Craftsmen's Fair at Mount Sunapee Resort. The annual fair began in 1933 and runs for 9 days each year, featuring the juried work of hundreds of members with sales booth, interactive demonstrations, and curated exhibitions, attracting over 20,000 visitors annually. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Today we'll meet Dan Dustin, a woodworker specializing in spoons here at the League headquarters, and hear more about his work at this year's fair. Ashlee Rowley will introduce us to the Women's Network here in the Sunapee Region. We'll meet Jordana Korsen, another craftsman showing at this year's fair. And we'll go on location with Ken Holmes, who will give us an update on progress at the Newbury Fireman's Museum. We'll close with Dyanna Smith, a silversmith and glass artist, another craftsman showing at the 91st Fair. But first, a few words from the good businesses that make it possible for us to bring you our Yankee Chronicle. You could be one too. Contact us at info@ycnnow.com to learn how.
Based loosely on Puccini's La Boheme, Jonathan Larson's rock musical Rent took Broadway by storm in the late 90s and left an indelible mark in the history of musical theater. Rent is about falling in love, finding your voice, and living for today. Winner of the Tony Award for Best Musical and the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, Rent has become a pop cultural phenomenon. It follows a year in the life of a group of impoverished young artists and musicians struggling to survive and create in New York's Lower East Side, under the shadow of HIV and AIDS. Rent does include adult themes and language and situations, and may not be appropriate for young theater goers. Rent is theater at its best, though, exuberant, passionate, and joyous. We are excited to bring it to the Barn Playhouse stage.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen on Main Street here in Concord. And I'm now joined by Dan Dustin, one of the craftsmen here. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
I'm excited to talk to you because we will say you hold a record, I think, at the Craftsman's Fair. But first, let's talk about your craft. You are a wooden spoon craftsman. Tell us about your art.
Well, I started out making axe handles, and nobody wanted to buy them.
Okay.
The chainsaws were getting better and better, and I turned it into spoon making. But I found the spoons in nature the same way I had been taught to find axe handles in the growth of the tree, for strength. So I make a spoon that is lighter and stronger than otherwise.
Okay.
And I have been at it for something over 50 years, and I'm very good at it.
Good.
It would be embarrassing if I wasn't.
That's true. That's true. And talk about your spoons. Are they just used for everyday life? Or
Absolutely. They are used for everyday life, and more people are collecting the darn things. And I've had to deal with my finish, because my finish has been has started out a wonderful finish if you wash them every day. But now I need a finish that will stand up to sitting in the sun on the windowsill, because so many of them are being collected.
Interesting.
And it's just part of the game, and I'm having great fun with it.
So your craft has changed slightly over the 50 years?
Slightly.
Only slightly.
I'm very proud of that. I have not had to change hardly at all in 50 years.
Wow. And have you tried other avenues of wood making of any sort?
Only if I can't say no.
Okay.
I'm stuck making a new handle for a metal spoon that belonged to the grandmother of a an enthusiast to whom I cannot say no.
Okay.
And that's happening this week, but generally speaking, I don't do much of anything else. I do make pickup sticks.
Oh.
I am obsessed by pickup sticks.
The game.
The game of pickup sticks has never reached its true level of wonderfulness, and I intend to bring it there, but the world isn't listening. This is the fate of the artist.
Wow, fascinating. So let's talk about the Craftsman's Fair, which is coming up. Tell the viewers, I don't want to spoil the news, tell the viewers how long you have been coming to the Craftsman's Fair.
It's my 50th year.
50th year.
And that means I have been to more than half of them. 91. We've had 91 and I've been to 50.
50 of them. And you have for sure seen it change over the years, over the decades, we can say. But why do you keep coming back?
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Okay.
It's a love fest.
Okay.
And this is, I was nurtured in the fair. I never went to art school. I invented craft.
Interesting.
I had this idea I could make things and sell them to people. And I came to New Hampshire shortly after I made that decision, and the New Hampshire potters grabbed me and had their way with me. And I took their philosophy and their point of view. My finishing process I call firing. It's cooking under oil, the axe handle process. But I used their vocabulary, and I started out goofing on the potters and had a wonderful time. I made pottery out of orange peels and melon rinds, and I was made a ex officio member of the New Hampshire Potters Guild.
Okay.
It was wonderful fun.
Wow.
And now, of course, so many of them are gone, and it's my duty to nurture others. We are a family.
A close-knit one. Before I let you go, quickly tell people why they should come to the Craftsman Fair.
In your lives, if you look around, everything in your lives is rigidly symmetrical. Your tableware, the glasses you drink from, right down to your shoes and your furniture. Come to the fair and see work which is free of mere symmetry. Work that has warmth, work that is comfortable to live with. You will be glad you did.
We will leave it there. Dan, thank you very much for joining me.
It's my pleasure.
When we come back, we'll be on location with Ashlee Rowley at a Vibe at 5, highlighting the women's network in the Sunapee region. We'll be back after this message from a business that brings you Yankee Chronicle on YCN, your local view.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Let's venture over to the King Hill Road location of Sunapee Blueberry Farm for a recent Vibe at 5. Hi, Ashlee.
So welcome to the Blueberry Barn of New London. It's adorable, it's cute, it's a wonderful space, it's got a lovely breeze. We are here for our Vibe at 5 event in July. We do these monthly, but we wanted to take one of our Vibes at 5s and turn it into a women's networking opportunity. So we wanted to focus and celebrate on business leaders who are women. Maybe they're business owners, maybe they're in upper management, maybe they're CEOs or they're board directors, whatever the case might be, but we wanted to focus on women. So we're excited about that. It's the first one we've done with this kind of theme and style. So we actually had our Miss State Park Scholarship Program step up to be a host for this evening. So they located the Blueberry Barn. They thought it would be great for this kind of an event, which it is. They had they brought festive wines. They brought snacks and victuals for everyone to enjoy. But the really big thing is we're here connecting with each other, hearing about what are some of the programs that not only the Miss State Scholarship Program offers, but also Colby Sawyer is also speaking about the Bold Network, and they're letting us know a little bit about what they do for the Colby Sawyer students who are right here in our community. And then we have an opportunity for some of our small business owners to talk about maybe some promotional bits, what's coming up for them in their organizations. And it's a great chance to just connect together. We have a couple different stations, so we're going to be working on a video promotional piece that says what inspires you as a woman in business. You know, what is a word that really kind of captures why you are in business? You know, how did you get there? What was your kind of motivation and inspiration for getting started? So we're doing that kind of video footage, some of that collection here, and then we're also having Miss New Hampshire do a little bit of a vocal speech over that video. So we're excited to see how that goes. We're going to have hopefully that on our YouTube channel, on our website, on all of our social medias. So we're excited about that. And then we're also asking everybody, what do we want to look when we look to the future for a women's kind of retreat or a women's expo? What are we looking for? What do they want? Do they want more of this opportunity to simply network and connect? Or are they looking for more resources and more presentations from people who have opportunities for women in business? So we're kind of feeling it out today and seeing what people are interested in learning more about. And we're also asking them a few questions about how the Chamber can help women in business. Maybe they're young entrepreneurs, maybe they're looking at the next phase of their career. How can the Chamber kind of intervene there and give them the resources they need to be successful? So for people who are interested in getting involved, or maybe you have a fabulous idea and you're not quite sure how to get started with that, reach out to us at the Chamber. So myself, Ashlee, the director for the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber, and Jenna, who's our new marketing coordinator, together we are doing all we can to kind of create these new opportunities for members. And we have a lot of women in business, so this is a great chance for you, if you have an idea out there, to bring it to us to see what we can do to make it happen.
Thanks, Ashlee. When Yankee Chronicle returns, we'll get another profile of a League of New Hampshire Craftsmen, Jordana Korsen. And Ken Holmes will give us an update on the progress at the Newbury Fireman's Museum. That's up next here on YCN, Your Local View, so stay tuned.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle, coming to you from the headquarters of the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen here in Concord, celebrating their 91st fair at Mount Sunapee Resort. And one of the juried craftsmen showing this year is Jordana Korsen. Let's learn more.
My name is Jordana Korsen. I've been a juried member of the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen for 20 years. I got into glass blowing as a happy accident, really. I started blowing glass as a sophomore in college, and in 1991 I decided that I wanted to be a glass blower, and I knew I'd always wanted to teach as well, so it made perfect sense to pursue both paths for me. Glass blowing for me is very much a team-oriented sport. Blow, please. Stop. And the thing that I love about the process is I am not working on my own on pieces, but I often have at least one or two assistants to help me make the pieces that I need to make. And blow softly. Stop. It makes it more interesting, more components, more dynamic if you work as a team. And I love the aspect of we're all part of that success. To me, that's a really special component of glassmaking. And this is all the same techniques that have been used for thousands of years, so it's kind of awesome. It's proven to work. Being a League of New Hampshire Craftsmen member to me has been really valuable because it's given me an opportunity to share my work, to sell my work, and to create some camaraderie with people not just in my field, which is very small and everyone knows each other, but in other mediums as well. It's also been an awesome opportunity for me as an educator to teach people about what I do and why it's valuable to me to share glassmaking as a medium, because glass blowing, if it's done the way I feel it should be done, teaches you how to live.
What a great lineup of talent, one of the many. Earlier this year, we did a story about the proposed Fireman's Museum in Newbury. Let's catch up on that project. Hi, Ken.
Thanks, Abby. So back in 1927, the members of the Newbury, New Hampshire community decided to get together because they needed a fire department. And at that first meeting, 32 members of the community created the Newbury Fire Department. We actually have the original typewritten meeting minutes, which will be on display in our new Newbury Fire Museum. Back in 1927, the members bought their first fire engine. In 1942, the chassis of that fire engine gave way, rusted out, so they bought their first real fire engine, a 1942 Chevrolet chassis. But being typical frugal New Englanders, they realized that the fire pump and the hose bed could be reused. So this is our original 1942/1927 fire engine, which served as a primary attack vehicle until approximately 1964. In the 1980s and 90s, 2 firefighters spent countless volunteer hours and years, candidly, totally reconditioning the fire engine. So about a year and a half ago, the Benevolent Association decided that it was a shame that this fire engine was under a tarp in various barns or old town sheds and seldom, if ever, got to be seen by the general public. So we decided to ask the Select Board of Newbury if we could place on this piece of land behind us a new Newbury Fire Department museum, which the Benevolent Association would construct with volunteer hours and donations, no taxpayer money involved. And at the completion of construction of the museum, we would then turn the building over to the town for $1. The primary exhibit piece in this new museum will, of course, be our reconditioned 1942/1927 fire engine. As you can see behind me, we've made a lot of progress on the new museum. We figured even with all of the volunteer labor, it would take about $150,000 to construct the museum, of which we've already raised $107,000. We purposely built the museum immediately adjacent to the Veely playground, because the playground is visited by many youngsters and their parents and or grandparents all day, all the time. So we temporarily relocated the fence for the playground to here so that we could keep the construction site safe. But when the building is done, this fence will go away and we'll have the fence line go from that corner post right here to the entrance of the museum, and there'll be a gate here to an outdoor covered porch area of the museum, where we will have on display the story and history of the Newbury Fire Department as I just described it, as well as a recruiting poster, because we are constantly and always looking for new members, both EMS and firefighters, and we will train. This museum will not be occupied most of the time, but on a schedule, we will be open periodically, Saturdays and Sundays over the course of summers and falls. 365 days a year, 724, this outside area will be available. And with all of the glass that's going to be in the museum, and in fact, we just in the last few weeks installed the glass, including this massive folding glass door that will allow the truck to go in and out to be able to join parades in the community. But during most of the year, it will be our primary exhibit here in the museum. Like I said, we'll periodically be open to the public. We'll also have a phone number that you can call to get private tours of the museum, to schedule those. And as well, we've already been talking to the public library about having or holding some of the children's story time here in the museum, because what little kid doesn't enjoy sitting around or in a fire truck, particularly an antique one? Lastly, to that end, we'll have a couple of benches along the side walls of the museum for those kids and others to sit on while we tell a story or discuss the history of the fire department and the museum. Of course, the fire engine won't be the only thing on exhibit. We will have a number of antique fire nozzles. We'll have one of the original red phones that was used to communicate where a fire was in town so that other firefighters could be called. And we'll have other exhibits. We'll have a list of the major contributors to the museum because, like I said, we're still in the process of trying to get enough contributions to finish. And with luck, we hope to be able to house the engine by the end of this year, 2024, in the new Fire Department Museum. So if people would like more information, I can tell you that we are accepting checks at the Newbury Fire Department Association, P.O. Box 373, Newbury, New Hampshire, 03255. You can reach out to me, Ken Holmes, at kfholmesnh@gmail.com. We look forward to opening up to the public, hopefully by the end of the year.
Thanks, Ken. They are so close to their goal. If you can help, please do. When we return, we'll get to meet Dyanna Smith, another one of the great craftspeople showing and selling their work at this year's fair. Stay with us here on your Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and we're coming to you from the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen here in Concord as they get ready for the annual Craftsmen's Fair at Mount Sunapee Resort. And I'm now joined by one of the craftspeople here, Dyanna Smith. Hi, Dyanna.
Hi.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice
and I'm
to meet
excited
you.
to talk to you because you are wearing some of your art.
I
so
am.
we can just zoom in and show it. But talk about your craft and what you'll be showing at the Craftsmen's Fair.
Sure. I'm a glass artist. I work on a small scale, so glass blowers normally, work on a larger scale.
Sure.
And have a big furnace and a huge torch, and I have a little tiny torch and a little tiny kiln. And so I work in a couple different ways with the torch or just fusing in a kiln. Those are two different styles.
Okay.
And most of what I work is jewelry. So you can see all kinds of different jewelry. What I'm wearing now is a little bit of new design for me. These are sort of glass loops in all kinds of colors. And I'll have rings this year, which is a new thing for me.
Oh, fun.
Always like to try to put something new out every year at Sunapee.
And where did your craft start?
Well, so I've always really loved glass, just been enamored with glass since I was a little girl. Very distracted by the stained glass windows in church, love depression glass and uranium glass, and I just think it's beautiful and mesmerizing. But I'm a biologist. I'm a scientist, not an artist. And it took me until my early 40s to finally take a stained glass class. I hated it. It was so fiddly. I love what it produces, but it's very fiddly. You can spend hours, it can fall apart. I have great respect for people who do it well, but I needed something faster, and I found a fusing and lamp work, which is what you call the torch bead making. And it's much more fluid. You can mess up, you can redo things, and it's kind of quicker. I have a short attention span, so it needs to be quicker.
And how do you get the colors? I mean, these colors are so vibrant. different.
Aren't they great? That's really a fun part is there are a number of companies, glass companies, and they have the colors. And so then I get it in rods that are like the thickness of a pencil, and then I melt those over the torch onto mandrel, which is a metal rod, and that makes the hole in the middle of the bead, so you wrap the glass around. It's really fascinating because it's very hot and drippy, so it takes, like one of the first sort of benchmarks for bead making is when you can make it round. Because it's so fluid and drippy. And then you get, for me, I got past the round part and now it's time to fool around. And so now I make things a lot more fluid and loose and not so round.
Fun.
And it's fun to play.
I would say so. Talk about the Craftsman's Fair. This is your 18th year going, which is incredible.
Yes.
Why do you keep coming back? And two, why should people come into the Craftsman's Fair?
It is, I call it my working vacation. I take time off work to be there, and it's very, so like I said, I didn't start my art until later in my life, and to me it's amazing that I like doing these things, and then I put them out into the world at the fair, and it makes other people so happy. That is, it's hard to put words to how meaningful that is for me.
Yes.
I really like making people happy, and then to see them have joy over something that I created is like an extension of myself.
Amazing.
And I think many of us, if not all of us, are like that at the fair. And it's a much more personal experience for shopping. Half of what I really enjoy is just talking to everybody.
I'm sure. Right. There's one thing to look online and you ship it away, but to really get the interaction with people. Have you ever been walking down the street and you see a piece on somebody, you have no idea who they are?
I do. It's very fun.
It must be.
I think a lot of our work is so distinctive that it stands out. And I'm friends with the other glass jewelers there, and we're always checking in partway through the week. It's like, I see your stuff on everybody. It looks so good. And, you know,
what a compliment that would be.
It's a very happy community, I find.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, Dyanna, I think everyone should head over to your booth and see your amazing work. And I mean, everyone should get something in these fun colors for summer too, while we still have it. So thank you so much for joining me, and good luck at the fair.
Thank you very much.
With the Craftsman's Fair at Mount Sunapee Resort nearing its close for their 91st edition, you can still stop by through Sunday, August 11th. This will wrap up our visit at the New Hampshire Craftsman's headquarters in Concord. They have league stores throughout the state, so you can find beautiful crafts year-round. More information about their locations, events, workshops, and the 92nd Fair can be found at nhcrafts.org. Next week, we'll be coming to you from the Renaissance Shop, celebrating a milestone in their work supporting the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice. This week, our game of the week, we have football featuring Somersworth at Newport. It will play Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. on NCTV 8 and TDS channels 13 and 1013. And for those who don't have cable, watch our ycnnow.com website, which carries all of our programming anytime on demand. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week as your Yankee Chronicle is being presented by the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice. Enjoy the balance of our summer, everyone.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.